morning and thank you for joining us today on Southerntimes on EveAfrique News from the depths of the Niger Delta. My name is Asimbe Nglas. River State government flags off COVID-19 vaccination exercise, pledges increased access to all residents. One dead, many hospitalized as oil spill ravages some communities in Delta states. Abducted university lecturer Dr. Jones Ayowo released after 40 weeks in captivity. Local security outfits apprehends drug peddlers, rapists, and other suspects in Rivers community. Burna Boy wins Grammy for the Best Global Music Award 2021. Asari Dokubo declares Biafra government. Now the news in detail. River State government has commenced the first phase of COVID-19 vaccination that will help to promote immunity and reduce infection in the state. His Excellency Ezenwanyes Wike, who performed the flag off on Tuesday at Government House Port Harcourt, described the exercise as historic in the fight against COVID-19. Represented by his deputy, Dr. Ipalibo Hari Banigo, Governor Wike said since the outbreak of COVID-19 in December 2019, many people have experienced untold hardship in the state. According to His Excellency, government's efforts at COVID-19 containment has been strategic after the state recorded its first case on March 25, 2020. The first phase of the vaccination is mainly for frontline healthcare workers and strategic leaders. In the following weeks, more citizens will have the opportunity to get vaccinated. Some executive members who got vaccinated are River State Deputy Governor Dr. Hari Banigo, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Professor Zacchaeus Adango, State Chairman of People's Democratic Party PDP Ambassador Desmond Akawo, Commissioner for Health Professor Princewill Chike, Chief of Staff to the Governor Chief Emeka Nwoke, and the Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources Dr. Peter Mede. The leader of the Niger Delta People's Salvation Force, Asari Dokubo, has birthed another version of Biafra agitation. The ex-militant leader also announces himself as the leader of the new Biafra customary government, BCG. According to the statement, Dokubo attributes the injustice and marginalization of the Igbos in various zones of the country as his reason for aspiring for a better life for his people. Dokubo vows that the de facto government will take care of the current insecurity challenges faced by the Igbos, as well as focus on science and technology to make life easier for the people. The Foundation for Ijaw Youth Empowerment, FIE, has called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to investigate the recent 3 billion naira CBN agric loan scandal surrounding the Bayelsa state government. In a statement signed by the president of FIE, Comrade Samson O. Adabini, called on the EFCC to, without delay, conduct a thorough investigation to clear the black dust in contact with the said fund. The fraud allegations surrounding the 3 billion naira Bayelsa state agric loan should not be swept under the carpet, he said. Nevertheless, anybody indicted of mismanagement by the EFCC should face the might of the law accordingly, regardless of his or her status. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll bring you more news. Stay with us. Welcome back. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at EveAfrique News, on Instagram at EveAfriqueNG. Also like and follow our Facebook page. It is EveAfrique Business and News. At least one person has been reported dead after crude oil spill from the ruptured pipeline alleged to be operated by the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC) Elcrest joint venture in Polububo, Skelewu communities in Warri North local government area of Delta State. The incident, which reportedly occurred on Sunday, also resulted in the hospitalization of several indigents of the communities. The president of Polububo Skelewu communities, Mr. Paul Toruwe, confirmed the incident to our correspondent. The ruptured pipeline resulted in spillage of oil in all water bodies and swarm forest of the communities in the operational area, which includes Opoma, Polububo, and their block satellite communities. The abducted lecturer of the University of Port Harcourt, Dr. Jones Gilbert Ayo, has been released following intense and relentless pressure mounted by the police. Our correspondent gathers that Dr. Ayo was released on Tuesday morning. His release comes 4 weeks after his abduction. Ayo was kidnapped while returning from Mandoni community along Bori Road in Rivers State, the same day the traditional ruler of Ikuru town, Chief Aaron Ikuru, was kidnapped. Meanwhile, Chief Aaron Ikuru's whereabouts remains unknown. The police spokesperson in Rivers, Namdi Omoni, in a statement on Tuesday said the release of the abductee was made possible largely to the intense and relentless pressure mounted by the police. 2 suspected drug peddlers have been apprehended by members of Rumaholu Security Planning and Advisory Committee, ROSPAC. Our correspondent reports that the local security body also apprehended a 19-year-old boy who allegedly had carnal knowledge of his 13-year-old cousin, alongside the other 3 suspects. Confirming the incident to our correspondent, the commander of ROSPAC, who doubles as a Community Development Committee chairman, Henry Nyebuchi Amadi, says the suspects were arrested based on information on the activities of the drug dealers in the areas. One of the suspects involved in the drug business pleads for forgiveness. However, the 19-year-old boy, who allegedly had carnal knowledge of his 13-year-old cousin, denied the allegations levied against him. The Port Harcourt Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Tuesday arraigned 4 suspects on a 2-count charges bordering on conspiracy and illegal dealing in petroleum products without appropriate license. The 4 suspects, whose names are Elemo Okoria, Ebofage Brown, Francis Dakwagamo, and a company, Diesel Power Nigeria Limited, were arraigned before Justice J.K. Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. They all pleaded not guilty to the 2-count charges bordering on conspiracy and illegal dealing in petroleum products without appropriate license. In view of their pleas, prosecution counsel J.N. Dogoyaro prayed the court for a date to commence trial. The defendants were arrested along One Eleme River State on April 20, 2018 by officers of the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder while transshipping 261,000 liters of products suspected to be illegally refined automotive gas oil (AGO) from the tugboat into a vessel MV Nazarene without requisite license or authority to deal in petroleum products. It is time for a quick break. More news coming from entertainment plus special reports. Do stay tuned. It was a great feat for Nigeria and Africa as Burna Boy wins the Grammy for the Best Global Music category at the premiere ceremony of the 63rd Grammy Awards. This marks his first career Grammy win.
Baby, my baby, you know Sunday or when you coming like Oyeka or when you, and if you keep I could take you, oh, shake you, I still if they solve your case, you can you commit a mistake, you. And if you leave, it will praise you. In a setup, you don't do your booty, now your body never.
Born in Nigeria's Port Harcourt, Burna Boy, whose real name is Damini Eboluwa Ogulu, released his first album, Life, in 2013. Life is an acronym for Leaving an Impact for Eternity. Life was succeeded by the release of Redemption in 2015 and Outside in 2018. That included the international hit track, Yeah. In 2019, his African Giants album hit the international scene and earned his first Grammy nomination. Burna Boy was nominated in 2019 for the award of Best World Music Album category, but lost out to Angelique Kidjo at the award ceremony in 2020. The award for the Best World Music Album was recently renamed Global Music Album Award, and Burna Boy's Twice as Tall album won over records from Anushka Shankar, Babel Gibato, Auntie Ballas, and Tina Ruwin. Burna Boy in his acceptance speech says, Africa is in the house. This is a big win for my generation of Africans all over the world. The 63rd Grammy Awards held in Los Angeles. This year's ceremony was different because of the corona pandemic. There was no audience and performers were separated into 5 stages arranged in a circle inside the Los Angeles Convention Center to maintain social distancing. Burna Boy gave a phenomenal performance to close out the premiere ceremony with Level Up, Onyeka, and Ye. Nigeria's comedy teen star Emmanuel Samuel, popularly known as Emmanuel, has emerged the winner of the Favorite African Social Media Star category at the Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards 2021. Emmanuel was nominated alongside other Nigerian comedy groups such as Ikorodu Boys, South African Magician, Rian van der Berg, Ugandan youth dance group Ghetto Kids, Kenya's social media sensation, Elsa Majimbo, and other groups within Africa. With this year's Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards 2021, she now gets to add a well-deserved orange bleep to her growing collection of international awards. Expressing her gratitude while receiving the award, Emmanuela says she's so happy to be a winner and thanks all her fans. To all those who voted for me, I love you so much. This win would not have been possible without you, she said. Emmanuela debuted in a viral comedy skit, This Is Not My Real Face So, on Mark Angel Comedy YouTube channel, which now has over 6 million subscribers. Emmanuela has since gone on to win several awards on big stages internationally. The federal government approves a sum of $1.5 billion for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temepri Silva, stated this while briefing newsmen after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa. The rehabilitation will be executed in 3 phases over a period of 3.5 years, commencing immediately, and will be handled by an Italian firm, Tecnimont SPA. The first phase will be completed in 18 months, which will take the refinery to a production of 90% of its template. The second phase will be completed in 24 months, and the final stage will be completed in 44 months. According to an eyewitness who pleads anonymity, the reported unrest in Abloma was premised on the clash between Okuru and Abloma youths. The incident happened around 10 a.m. on Wednesday when some titled chiefs from Abloma went to inspect their portion of land by Reeve Taff Golf Estate on Okuru-Abloma Link Road in the Transimadi area of Port Harcourt, River State. It is alleged that youths of Okuru attacked the Abloma chiefs, after which the stalls on the said portion of land were destroyed by the youths. On hearing the news, the youths of Abloma mobilized themselves on a rescue mission. On their way, they were seized by the Okuru youths at Winners Church Junction, who were on a reprisal attack. It took the intervention of the men of the police force, the military, and the local vigilante group to restore peace and order in both communities. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you a special report. Our special report is on the life and times of High Chief Dr. Olu Benson Lulu Briggs, OON DCF DSSRS. High Chief Dr. Olu Benson Lulu Briggs was born on May 22, 1930, into the family of Oluwari Briggs in Abonima, Akokotoro local government area of Rivers State. His primary education was in Abonima. There he excelled in his academics. His academic excellence endeared him to both his teachers and peers. His grandmother, Mrs. Agbani Lulu Briggs, ensured he had basic quality education in his childhood. Chief Lulu Briggs proceeded to the northern part of Nigeria in his quest for greener pasture. With his primary education, High Chief Lulu Briggs secured a job as a clerk, having learned some skills in typing. Later, he relocated to Lagos in search of greener pasture. In 1955, Chief Lulu Briggs began his career in civil service at the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA. During his 23 years at NPA, he served as a secretary to the NPA Workers' Union, chairman of the Maritime Trade Union of the Eastern Ports, and later in his career, he became the founder of the Rivers State Council of Labour in the year 1970 to 1972. Upon his retirement from civil service, Chief O.B. Lulu Briggs ventured into business in the oil and gas sector, where he excelled tremendously and has left his footprints for posterity. Consequent upon his business acumen, High Chief Briggs was the chairman of the National Animal Feeds Company, the precursor of the National Fertilizer Company of Nigeria, NAFCON, between 1981 and 1983. He was appointed a director of Rivers State Transport Corporation from 1979 to 1982. Thereafter, he served as the chairman, governing council of the Federal Polytechnic, IDA, in 1982 to 1983. At age 62 in 1992, Chief Lulu Briggs was awarded his first oil block license, which he nurtured against all odds as a minority player in the extractive sector. He succeeded in raising technical partners, raised funds despite the fact that his tribe was a minority in Nigeria corporate finance at the time. Presently, Monipulo has oil blocks in Abia, Ondo, and Akwa Ibom states. Chief Lulu Briggs was a man of many facets and was revered for his relevance both traditionally and politically. As a voracious and influential political leader, he was found a member of National Party of Nigeria, NPN, in Rivers State, acting as its first pro-tem secretary in 1979, and later the national vice chairman of the party. In 1993, he was elevated to the Young Briggs in Ikorari, the 5th chieftaincy stool of the Kalabari Kingdom. As a philanthropist, he touched many lives through his acts of charity. Many persons are beneficiaries of his free medical health care services, both for the young and the elderly, residents of rural areas in Rivers State and Nigeria at large. Speaking about him, the managing director of Access Bank, Herbert Webe, said, "Christmas in Abuloma without High Chief O.B. Lulu Briggs will certainly be difficult to replicate." Another illustrious Rivers son, the managing director of Heritage Bank, Ifie Melvin Sekibo, said, Though Opuda was unschooled in corporate finance, corporate law, or economics of oil, he was well grounded in the politics of life, politics of boardroom, and learned quickly about politics of the extractive sector. Summing it up, the managing director, Cordero Engineering, Idare Gogo Ogan, said High Chief O.B. Lulubriggs oozed confidence and bravado, a no-nonsense man, never ready to settle for a second best. He was one of the finest of his generation, astute visionary, insightfully suave, and a fit-for-purpose personality. A true rivers giant, well-respected and revered by his peers and colleagues across the nation. Popularly known as Opuda and the head of the Young Brace family, Inikerari, the fifth High Chief O.B. Lulubriggs died in December 2018 and his remains was laid to rest in his hometown, Abonima, in Akukutoro local government area of Rivers State. Many thanks for joining us today on Southerntimes and EveAfrique News. Remember, you can follow us on all social media platforms. On Twitter, it's EveAfrique News. On Instagram, EveAfriqueNG. And also like and follow our Facebook page. It's EveAfrique Business and News. It is our collective responsibility to take care of our health. Remember, COVID-19 is still real. Remember to wash your hands regularly, use your face mask properly, and avoid crowded places. My name is Eisimbe. I hope to see you next week, same time.